Welcome to It's Your Business, a program designed to highlight our local small businesses who participate in procurement and contracting opportunities at Houston Community College. I'm your host, Veronica Douglas. If you've tuned in before, welcome back. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Either way, we are glad you're joining us on today as we highlight our local small businesses for the great work they do. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please do so today by clicking Let's Stay in Touch on our website. Subscribing to our newsletter allows us to reach you in a uniformed manner, providing information about the Small Business Development Program and its community partners. So with that being said, let's get started. Waste management is an issue that affects us all, but not everyone realizes the critical role it plays in ensuring a more sustainable future. Sustainable waste management practices are essential in minimizing the impact of waste on the environment and promoting a circular economy. Prime Waste Solutions is a waste and recycling consulting company providing cost savings and customer support for commercial customers on their waste and recycling services. Joining us today is Sandy Hurd, owner of Prime Waste Solutions. Welcome, Sandy. It is so great to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Veronica. I'm just honored to be a part of the program and just thank you for choosing me and our business.
Well, Sandy, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your passion? What do you like to do?
So I like to do good. Our company was founded to really help our customers, one, be good stewards to the environment, but also be good stewards to their business and keeping costs down. So all in all, that's our passion. And 30 years in the garbage world, being a trash lady and putting that little expertise to use for our customers.
So tell us a little bit about your team. I know you said you've been in business for 30 years. Tell us about your team.
So our team is a group of mainly women that are here. We do have some men that are here, but we really focus and deep dive on the customer, what they're getting rid of, and how we can help them do things responsibly, cost and most important, cost effectively, and keep score for them and support them.
So let's dive a little bit into the services you offer, particularly the waste services you offer. Talk to us about waste and recycling audits that you perform. What are these audits and what does this process involve?
So an audit is digging deep into a customer site. We actually go to the site and we look at everything going out the door, every little item. And we take photos, we analyze the data in how much of an item it is, whether it's plastics, metals, papers, electronics, anything going out the door. And then we come back from the audit and we analyze, we come up with programs to find homes for the items that are being thrown into a landfill and being disposed of. And we help them really implement the plan with vendors and help them get commodity rebates back on a lot of the items they throw away.
So really, what have you uncovered, during these waste audits? Are you finding that, businesses are paying for unneeded services? What are you finding when you perform an audit like this?
So, a lot of customers do what they do best, right? So if you have a manufacturing site that makes chairs, they do what they do best. They make chairs. A lot of times they don't know things that are going out the door, what to do with them. So it's easier to throw things away. So when we go in, we find all kinds of things. We find plastics, paper, and we really just dig deep. We help them put these plans in place to get rid of things. And it may not be able to be recycled, but maybe it can be reused, repurposed, or donated to some nonprofits.
And so this sounds like a boots on the ground operation where you're actually going in and taking a look at everything, all the types of waste they're generating and helping them to determine, is this a recycled material? Is it something that is just truly, in fact, waste?
Yes, absolutely. You know, and it just depends on what the customer's goals are. A lot of times, companies are moving so fast, they don't have either the time, the labor involved to sort separate. It just depends on what the customer's goals are. We have companies that are really wanting to focus more on their ESG score and their sustainability efforts. And so then we really dig deep and try to find homes for everything. And almost everything can be recycled. There could be a high cost involved in some things, but almost everything can be recycled.
So, one of the other services that you offer is right sizing. What is right sizing? And tell us about the importance of this service.
So right sizing is pretty simple. We look at an entire customer cyclist. And so out of this, say there's a medical facility that has about 150 sites. And of these medical facilities, they're clinics, let's just say, maybe you look at all these sites and you determine, okay, which are your small, medium, large of all of your sites. And then we look at the service for those sites. And there may be a small site that has the same service as a large site. And you kind of would want to wonder why, is it what's going on that you need the same service as one of the larger performing sites? So we kind of look at the site demographic, their revenue, whatever, however they support, and then what they're spending and what their use is going out the door, and then how can we improve on just those little key points for the site. And that's what we call right sizing. And just doing that, there's opportunities for a customer.
And from doing the different types of analysis that you do, what types of reports are generated and provided to your customer?
We provide spend reports to look at how much they're spending on everything going out the door. We provide a rebate report showing now that we're recycling, we're helping you recycle your cardboard, your plastics, whatever the items are. How much are you getting back for those items that were normally thrown or trashed? We also look at tons. How many tons are you really throwing away? And how many tons are you recycling now? And what's your landfill avoidance? So we provide those reports. With that, we also track what their environmental impact is. So because you recycled 400 tons of paper, what did that do to the environment? How many trees did you save? How much energy in kilowatt hours, barrels of oil, gallons of water, tons of landfill space? So we look at everything as a whole. We provide those reports to them quarterly and annually so they can show not only their employees what their efforts are doing, but their investors, maybe their shareholders, if they're publicly traded companies, so they can really report what they're doing to be good environmental stewards.
So, in your opinion, why do you think the amount that of waste we generate, why is that constantly increasing?
It depends on the market. So a lot has to do with um, state, county, government policy. Um, there's not a lot of regulations. Let's just say in Texas, where we are today, disposal is cheap because land is cheap. And there's not a lot of regulations saying you will be cited if you don't improve on your recycling efforts. Um, we need more policy in place in different areas. Now, with that said, Austin, as a city, has become very progressive in its recycling efforts, and it is actually putting plans in place for businesses for sure and residents, but they're really moving forward and being progressive in that effort. And again, the city came in and said, this is what is required, and you have to show us proof of that requirement in order to be in compliance, or you'll be fined. So that helps a lot.
So, how can a business reduce the amount of waste that's generated? Can you give us some hints or some help?
Absolutely. I would start with what, depending on the business. So, like, just say an office where you are today. Look at removing styrofoam cups for coffee. Simple little things. Styrofoam will stay in a landfill for 500 years. It'll just stay there. Get rid of the styrofoam cups. Buy some recycled cups that you can use for coffee. No type of item for for water. Use a water filtering system where people refill their water. Utensils, bowls. You see a lot of facilities that serve food that are now using like recycled straws and recycled bowls and plates and just little things like that. Every little thing can make a big impact at the end of the day.
So does Prime Waste Solutions, do you provide any type of equipment in the event that it's needed to start a program?
We have vendors that will lease equipment, rent equipment, sell equipment. We help with all the training, implementation, installation, maintenance, everything, so that the customer has the best equipment needed for whatever they're recycling and needing to get rid of.
So are there any other types of strategies that you think can be implemented to reduce or minimize the waste that's generated in these businesses?
Give us a call. I'd say give us a call. You never know what you have that could go either into a recycling site or help someone else in need. There are things that can be repurposed or donated that some people would throw away. And a lot of businesses change equipment, change their office chairs or their desk chairs, or, people are now working remotely, so we don't need these cubicles. Let's trash them. Don't trash anything first. Make a quick phone call because you never know. You never know.
And I even know for myself, when I purchase things, I choose to have everything delivered in one box versus multiple packages showing up in my home, that I have to recycle in different ways. So I think even just those little efforts that we take, personally in our own homes can really help the environment and really help, with reducing the amount of waste that's generated.
Absolutely. I agree. Even in a business, if you order cases of paper, use that box as the bin that you then collect the paper to recycle instead of going out and buying another bin. Just there's always ways to make improvements for sure.
So how have you seen these strategies improve the bottom line when you're working with these companies and, minimizing the effects that it's taking on the environment?
By watching a company spend report, once we put a good recycling program in place, it is amazing to see the cost reduction in a business, which obviously their CEOs and higher management love to see that. But it's also good to see, for us to see, this little bit of change made such an impact to the bottom line of the business, not only in cost savings, but also in revenue, and revenue getting commodity back, selling pallets instead of trashing pallets, plastics and glass and different items. So definitely see that in our tracking.
Can you share with us a success story where you have helped a business reduce their waste? Can you tell us a little bit about one of your success stories?
I can. This is not only a good for the customer on a spend reduction, but it also was a feel good as well. I had a client that their team from COVID did not come back to work in a 2-story building full time. So they ended up spreading things out and they shut the building down. This 2-story building was full of furniture and trash items. And they wanted a bunch of containers for disposal just to get a crew there, get rid of it. They really had a short amount of time. We ended up asking for their permission to donate. We reached out to a city full of nonprofits and organizations, and we put a value on all the items, and we tracked it, put a window, come pick these items up. We tracked everything. They donated $78,000 worth of items. That was a tax write-off for them and avoided $40,000 in disposal. So it was such a win-win for them, and they just felt so good about it. And these nonprofits, churches, and organizations were just over the top elated that they got the support.
That is wonderful. I know, when we get in a business environment, we move quickly. We want to, get rid of this waste, and the first thing we think about is just throw it away. Get a bin and just toss it in the bin. We don't look and see can it be repurposed or reused or donated. So I commend you on that. I think that is really, really great work that you've done.
Thank you. We really, it makes us feel good too. So thank you.
So let's move on from the waste reduction services that you provide, and let's talk a little bit about the recycling services that you provide. So
Mhm.
for the viewers that may have a general idea of, recycling, break it down to us a little bit and tell us exactly what recycling is.
Recycling is putting something that would have been trashed back into being used again. So that item, that plastic, can be melted back down and remade into something else. Paper as well. Eventually, it gets to a point where it's so downgraded and it can't be used for an item. But there's items can be used in many ways, and ground down for many things, even um, layers for to help with the landfill. Landfills have many layers to protect the soils. Road base for TxDOT needs a lot of road base to lay down before they're starting to put the roads down. So there are many things out there that can still be recycled and reused.
So it sounds like just, one of the impacts of a recycling program is, it's helping to conserve our natural resources, while also putting back into our economy.
Yep.
And, like you said, the roads, I never thought about that recycled materials were used, on our roads here, and that TxDOT is taking those efforts to do and use recycled materials. I never thought of that.
Yep, absolutely. There's a big need for that as well. So any item out there can be usually reground into something and or put into a fuel blend in many ways, mixed with other items. So there's definitely and it helps in reducing using raw material again. So definitely.
So, how do cell phones and inkjet cartridges and computer parts, how are they affecting our environment when we're not properly disposing of them?
Well, they have a lot of harmful chemicals in them. Honestly, the eroding process in a landfill. First, they are hard to decompose in a landfill. The hard plastics. Secondly, there's lead, there's mercury, a lot of harmful chemicals, and mixed with other things. So when you go into a landfill, it's just a melting pot of whatever else is in there. So you definitely there's a lot of care involved into what's going back into our earth, so in our soil. The landfills all have leachate systems to capture, rainwater coming down, gases, and all that. But it's very harmful. So it's best to find the right homes, find the right resources to get rid of these items.
What items are typically not recyclable? Is it like maybe TV monitors or paints?
Paints can be recycled. They just need to be recycled in a proper way. There's different resources for them. Paints, styrofoam, even hazardous chemicals. Just they just take special care and handling for that.
So, in what ways does recycling actually create jobs in our community?
Oh, there's always a need to continue to find resources to turn these items into recycled items. So um, for me, I definitely see the more regulation there is in different counties and states, the more facilities will need to be built to turn these items into something new, to be melted and sold off. So there's definitely a need. I know here in Texas there is, but in other states as well.
So, what type of training is typically needed or provided by you when you work with these businesses on recycling programs?
A lot is, what do I do with what I have? So we come in after doing an audit and putting the programs in place, and we train them on where things need to go. We have them put signage in their sites on where things need to go. And I think after the fact, maybe 3 months after a plan has been started, when the staff sees the difference it's made, that's when the light bulb comes on. Okay, now I know. I was trained, don't put that piece of paper here and don't put that cell phone here. It's like that light bulb comes on and they realize, okay, their efforts are paying off.
I can see a recycling program here, at the institution being fun, making it fun and the challenge, like you said, don't put that there, that's not recyclable. And then we take that same mentality home and we implement those things in our house. So I think that, implementing, and I'm going to try harder here as well to implement a recycling program, even if it is just within our department, because I know I personally overlook a lot of the recycling bins and toss things in the trash that can be recycled. But I think that we all need to do much more to protect our environment.
I think so too. And honestly, a lot of you don't realize, but a lot of people do have an interest and to recycle and do better. And I think when you have contests and get that camaraderie up, that helps in a company. I also think, in some of the warehouse places and where they generate income, they put that towards, a quarterly party for the staff. Look at what we brought in $1,000 on recycling this paper. Well, let's, have a party. Let's bring in food and invite our families, so put the money towards good staff things too.
I noticed that you mentioned we could use like old paper boxes for recycling, but what other types of bins are typically needed if someone wants to implement a program in their business?
Depending on the size and depending on the business, manufacturing, like there's a big manufacturing facility or warehouse, there are many types of bins, and we would work with the customer on putting them in the right place. Just getting a bin is one thing, but making sure it's in the right place. Um, I do, pardon me, I do recommend that everywhere there's a trash bin, there must be a bin right next to it for that recycling item. Otherwise, it's going to just be too easy. If I have to walk here for trash and here for paper, forget about it. Paper's going to go closest spot. So bins vary on the industry, the items, and the volume.
So how can someone, a consumer, how can they ensure that they're actually buying or purchasing a product that is made from recycled materials?
Usually they all communicate that. So if you look at the bottom of um, your jug of water, your bottle of water, or your paper bowls that you're buying, it'll usually say made from recycled material. You usually can find that. I think that's a bigger push today than it used to be, which is good.
Do most items have the reduce, reuse, recycle arrow, or have they stopped really using that logo?
Plastics do. Plastics definitely, and there's a grade 1 through 7 on the plastics. So I have actually happen to have a water bottle here. So you will see at the bottom of your detergent bottle, your milk jug bottle, all the plastics can pretty much go together. But on other items, some of they don't have a number, but they'll have a recycle logo showing that it can be recycled. Usually your papers will show that as well.
So, what other ways can we ensure a greener future for generations to come?
I think every small minute change can make a big impact in the long run. So I would say just do your little part at home, do your part when you go to work. Talk to your employers about it as well. How can we do something different to just help and be good stewards?
I think also making sure your vehicle is serviced so you're not polluting the air, right? Keep up with your vehicle to make sure it's maintained, because I know when you get behind a truck that's not maintained and it's polluting our environment as well. So we should
Absolutely.
think about those things too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's a lot to say about the quality of the air and you know, what's going on out there. You know, part of the landfills issue and what you see a lot of is when things are going into a landfill, the air that it leaves and capturing the gases. And that's just it's all polluted.
So, really, what advice can you provide to business owners just in closing here that are thinking about starting a program or want to implement a program and just they don't know where to start?
Um, Give us a call or do some research on your own on the internet. Look at what you are throwing away. And in those items, just pull out the simple things like paper and plastic. Those are usually your simple things in a business, and see if you can find a home for them. If you can't find a home for them, you know, real quickly don't know, do some research on the internet or give us a call. We can help implement a program.
So, you did just mention that they could give you a call. So, what is the best ways for our viewers to contact you to schedule a service?
You can do a couple of things. You can go to our website at www.primewaste.com, PRIMEWASTE.com, or give us a call at 832-900-8100.
Thank you so much, Sandy, for allowing me to interview you today. I know you have provided great insight to me on ways that I can change in my personal and professional business as far as recycling. And I will continue to spread the word about you, your business, and all the good deeds that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. We're just honored that you had us on this program today, and good luck to everyone out there. And, you know, do your part. It's a big impact, no matter how small.
And thank you to all our viewers that are watching today. If you're interested in learning about HCC's procurement opportunities, please visit our website. Continue to watch and support the program. And for It's Your Business, I'm your host, Veronica Douglas. Thank you.
Our individual voices are powerful, but not everything has a voice. Let us be a voice to the voiceless, the caretakers our home deserves. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that when we all come together, the sky is the limit. It's time to speak up for nature.